Hey guys, welcome back. So we are going to be taking and looking at 1.1 today, the checkerboard review. Now for those of you who are remote and don't have your workbooks, there is the PDF on the Canvas page. You'll have to do a little bit of scrolling to get to the 1.1. What we're going to be doing is just the ready, set, go portion. So what it'll look like when you see it is something like this. This is the launch, so this is what we would do if we were in class all together to work in groups on. What you need to worry about when we're taking and doing these lessons is the ready, set, go part, which I know I just showed you a couple answers. Sorry about that. But what we're looking at there is we're looking at the ready, set, go. That's always going to be what your homework is every single time. So keep that in mind. That is what the homework is. So where it says ready, set, go, that's what we're looking at when we're going through these things, okay? All right, so the first part of what we're going to take and look at, I'm going to move myself down over here so you can see. We are looking at this right here. So recognizing solutions to equations. So the solution to an equation is the value of the variable that makes the equation true. In this equation, 9a plus 17 equals negative 21. A is the variable. When a equals 2, 9a plus 17 does not equal 19 because 9 times 2 plus 17 is 35. Thus, a equals 2 is not a solution. However, when a equals negative 4, the equation is true. 9 times negative 4 plus 17 equals negative 19. Therefore, a equals negative 4 must be the solution. So there's a lot in there, but basically what that is all saying is looking at solutions to equations. So we want to find when the equation is true, for what value of a, or whatever your variable may be, because obviously it might not always be a, but for what variable, whatever it may be, what value that has to be in order for it to equal the other side of the equation. So each time, as you might notice here, we've got the 3x plus 7 equals 13. That 3x plus 7 has to equal that 13. The 8 minus 2b has to equal negative 2. So each side has to equal the other. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to identify which of the three possible numbers is the solution to the equation. So we're going to take and plug in each of these values into the equation to see which one gives us a true statement. So I'm going to do that up on the board up here. I'm going to scoot you a little closer so you can see. Okay. So we've got our equation up here. So I'm going to take this x equals negative 2. Come to this side so I'm not standing in front of you guys. So we've got 3 in parentheses. We're going to put our negative 2 because this x is this negative 2. So we're substituting in the negative 2 in for the x. And then plus 7 equals 13. So we're going to see if that ends up being true or not. So 3 times negative 2 is going to give us negative 6 plus 7 equals 13. Negative 6 plus 7, what is that? Is that 13? Goodness, no, that's just 1. Does 1 equal 13? No, not a chance. So x equals negative 2 is not a solution to this first equation. So now we're going to try again with the next one, x equals 2. And we're going to see if that one works. So same thing. So we're going to have 3 times 2 plus 7 equals 13. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 7 equals 13. 6 plus 7 is 13. So does 13 equal 13? Yes. So x equals 2 is the solution. Now I will tell you there is only one solution for each and every one of these. So once you find the answer, you don't have to keep going through. So we don't have to take and plug in the x equals 5 to see if that's going to give us a true statement as well. All we have to do is find out which one makes it equivalent. So we're saying that this 3x plus 7 is equivalent to the 13 when x equals 2. So that is when it's equivalent. Equivalent is your key word for this lesson. So for those of you who haven't had me, I do a key word in every video lesson that I do. you're going to take that keyword and go to Canvas. There is a Canvas quiz that says 1.1 video keyword. And then you're going to take and click on that. It's a quiz. And you'll just type right in the blank what the keyword is. So the keyword is equivalent. You'll type that in, submit it. Be really, really careful of your spelling, because if you get the spelling wrong, then it marks it as wrong. I go back and double check that to see if, it's just a spelling, or you put an S on the end or something like that, just slightly off. Then I'll give you the points back. But be really, really careful. Try to get it spelled right as best you can, just so that way you don't have that panic of, oh my goodness, I have a 0, but I thought I did it right. Just don't worry, I will fix it, I promise. You can shoot me an email saying, hey, I got it wrong, and then I'll take a look at it. I'll take a look at it no matter what, though, I promise. But that is your keyword for this lesson, equivalent. All right, so for the first section, this is what you guys are taking and doing. So in each case, you are being given 3 possible solutions to the equation, and you have to see which one is the solution. And I want to see your work wrote out just like this. So if you have to do it 3 times, I want to see all 3 to see that, okay, you know the first 2 don't work, you know the third one does. So I want to see all your work on this, okay? And then for your answer, make sure you circle it or box it or make it really, really obvious what your answer is, all right? Perfect. So the next section that we're going to take a look at on here is down here. So on the first part, every single equation only had 1 variable. This second part has 2 variables. So some equations have 2 variables. You may recall seeing an equation written like the following: y equals 5x plus 2. We can let x equal a number and then work the problem with this x value to determine the associated y value. A solution to the equation must include both the x value and the y value. Often the answer is written as an ordered pair. The x value is always first. Example, x, comma, y. The order matters. So you've dealt with coordinate planes before. You know that order matters. X always comes first. So x, remember, is our horizontal axis. Y is our vertical axis. We have to know the proper order. X always comes first. So what you see down here is we have these different equations, and we have the x values given to us for 3 different ordered pairs. What we have to do is find out what those 3 y values will be then based on what the equation is. So I'm going to do number 5 with you guys. Let me get the camera moved over. Just give me 1 sec. So right here, we'll go ahead and take and work through this. So we have the equation y equals 6x minus 15, and we've got our 3 different x values. We have 8, -1, and 5. So what we need to take and do is, this is our x value. So we're going to plug 8 in for x in our equation. So we're going to have y equals 6 times 8 minus 15. So now we're going to take that 6 times 8, which is 48, and we're going to subtract 15 from it. So 48 minus 15 is going to give us 33. So for the first one, our ordered pair is 8, 33. And so that's exactly what you guys are going to take and do. You have to work through it using what the x value is. You're going to work through and find out what the y value is. And so the next one, we have an x value of -1. Always be super careful with your negatives. It's so easy to drop a negative off sometimes. So we're going to write y equals 6 times -1 minus 15. So we take our 6 times -1. Write out our minus 15. Then we have -6 minus 15. So we're already at -6, and we're going to take away 15 more. So we're going to go further negative. So we're going to end up with y equals -21. So that would be our answer. We bring that up to the ordered pairs, and we fit it in there. Now I know the space to write for those ordered pairs is fairly tiny, so do your best. If you can't fit it in there, just kind of write it at an angle or something to kind of fit it in so you can see that the answer really does have to be an ordered pair, because I don't want you to think that, oh, I can just write y equals negative 21, that's my final answer. That's not really your final answer. The solution to this equation is not just y equals negative 21. The solution is negative 1, negative 21, because we have two variables. So we're not just saying one variable. That's not the solution. That only gives us part of a solution. So be really careful with that. All right, and then this last one over here, I'm going to scooch the chair over just a little more so you can see. All right, so once again, y equals 6 times, our x value is 5, so we plug the 5 in there, minus 15. So 6 times 5 is 30, and then we subtract 15. So 30 minus 15 is going to give us 15. So we end up with y equals 15. So it's going to go up here into our ordered pair. So the solution then is 5, 15. So 5, 15 is our solution for that one. So make sure you're taking and showing all this work. I really want to see this work, especially right now as we're starting off. Some of you I've never had before, so I want to see what your work is. That way, if you're getting it wrong, I can see exactly where things are going wrong for you. So make sure you show this work for me. I know they don't give you a ton of space in these workbooks to show work, so if you need to, write the work on a separate sheet of paper and send that with when you submit your assignment, just so that I can see that you are working these out, and I can see, if you do make a mistake, I can look for where that is occurring at, okay? All right, so our next section, let me bring myself back down there. Our next section is looking at using a constant rate of change to complete a table of values. So we want to fill in the table and then write a sentence explaining how you figured out the values to put in each cell. So for number 9, you run a business making birdhouses. You spend $600 to start your business, and it costs you $5 to make each birdhouse. So we've got a table showing number of birdhouses going from 1 to 7 and the total cost to build. And that's what we need to figure out, what is going to go there. Okay? So if we think about it, to make one birdhouse, how much is it going to cost? Well, we know each birdhouse costs $5 to make. So we know it's at least 5, but we spent $600 to start our business. So how much is that going to make that first birdhouse cost us? What do we think? $605. So quite a significant price. I mean, that's a lot for one birdhouse if you think about it. But it's because we're dealing with the fact that there's the startup costs. I'm hoping my pen's gonna, there we go. We're dealing with those startup costs. So it's not just the cost of that one birdhouse. We have the cost that it took to make the birdhouse, plus everything it costs for the business. So hopefully I can fit this in here. 605. So it costs $605. What about to make 2 birdhouses? So now we go up another 5, but do we have to add that 600 on again? No, that 600 was a one-time base fee that we had to pay, essentially, to take and start our business. So now every time we go up another number of birdhouses, we're only going up another $5. So for 2, it'll be 610. For 3, we're going to go up another $5. So 615. And I know mine's getting really hard to write on. Let me try and zoom this in a bit. Okay, so for 4, if we go up another $5 from 615, we'll be at 620. For 5, once again, we're going up another 5. So 625. For 6, it'll be 630. And for 7, it'll be 635. So we have to think about what this represents. So in our original problem there, it told us that we had that starting fee. we had to start the business. It took us this much to start the business. And then each